The students made a lot of memories coming to this country. They actually enjoyed their time. They learned new culture, changed some negative perceptions, and had hopes and dreams along with the people of this country.
I thought that women couldn't show like the little bit of their ankles and someone would shout at them. I thought it was a lot worse than it actually is. I think that the news that I had from Brazil were things that were happening like 20 years ago, 10 years ago, and I see that things are changing.
From my perspective, I didn't know much coming in to the country. I think you obviously had like studied a lot more about the country and stuff like that. I'd only kind of seen what the media portrayed the country as and like stuff like that. So I had a few concerns and I wasn't sure what it was going to be like, etc., etc. But after coming here and like seeing everything, being the people, experiencing the culture, like that's obviously changed a lot for me.
I was very worried about security matters and about human rights appliance. I mean, everywhere in the daily life, and I was quite surprised from the very beginning of my trip, since I arrived at the airport of Riyadh, about the contact I could get from people I would meet, especially starting, as I said, at the airport with the guy from the immigration who started to speak to me in French and very welcoming with me. That was my first Saudi Arabian moment.
Well, before Saudi Arabia, coming here, I didn't really know too much about it. I always connected it, being an American, it's always connected with our war in Iraq and Afghanistan, and I always thought of Saudi Arabia as being connected with that and kind of a warlike state. But coming here, people are generally very friendly to me. I've had nothing but good experiences with the people here.
So I knew that through Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman's reforms that the role of women in society was expanding. And I assumed that maybe perhaps things had been happening before, but after speaking with some of the women and just other people involved in this trip, it became very clear that women's role in Saudi Arabian society has been evolving for a long time, and that basically making it official through these policy reforms was just kind of, it was about time for it to happen.
When we think about Saudi Arabia, we always think about the religion, the Islam, and I mean, I was talking to this girl about my favorite TV show, and it was her favorite TV show, and it's something that we don't think about. We have so many things in common. We don't think about that when you think about a different country.
Honestly, the Women's Forum kind of blew my mind, and it's because I had been reading up on Saudi Arabia before I came, because, you know, that's what we do. We try to, like, you know, figure stuff about the country we're going to visit so we're not ignorant. And the stuff that I found were found to be just not even true, completely false, or I was led to believe, like from what I was reading, and I was trying to read things that were like accredited and unbiased. It was just talking about how like women didn't have rights, and it was I met women who had like represented themselves amongst men, or women who don't even have to have like a male's permission except for their passport every 5 years to travel. So like everything that I had seen and everything that I had read like was just proven to be false, you know. But what's interesting to me is that I did get all of my questions answered, and I was able to ask every question that I wanted to ask on this trip.
Yeah, I found it really inspiring to meet with some of the women, especially the one woman who had worked in her local council as like a magistrate. I thought that was really interesting that she had done that, and even hearing personal stories about how excited they were to finally be able to drive and obtain their driver's license. And also something that I didn't know was how much had been going on behind the scenes, even without influence from Mohammed bin Salman and other governmental representatives, that it wasn't just the men in government pushing for these rights, it actually came from the women who were really pushing for years and years to change things in this country. So it was really inspiring to see how much they had achieved.
it's very different for me as a travel photographer and travel influencer. It's very important for me that not a lot of people has been here before, so we have this very unique opportunity of showing Saudi Arabia as a destination, and soon many people will be able to come.
I probably enjoyed Jeddah the most, just because we got to go out on the boat and go in the Red Sea, which is somewhere that like I'd heard a lot about but never actually been to, and I didn't know it existed like that. Like it was so different to what I expected, but like it exceeded my expectations. So I think I had the most fun there, and then second to that would obviously be the desert. I think like it was just a fun time for me.
I really enjoyed meeting with local Saudi students from Jeddah and Riyadh, all together at one place, learning about science and technology. And then today we met with professors from various universities in Riyadh, talking about for Saudi policy. And I really enjoyed talking with these young Saudis.
To me, I think it was really special to be able to come on this trip because, you know, not everybody can afford it. I know I wouldn't have been able to travel anywhere outside of the U.S. like with my financial situation. So like I really appreciate, you know, GatewayKSA and the Faisal Center for trying to make this not only a touristy experience but a learning experience as well.
The whole trip has shown me that Saudi Arabia is changing and that there are like plans, whether it be Vision 2030 or just like a really young generation that's growing up and like learning new things and changing Saudi Arabia. So I know that I want to come back just to see what's in the works.